Welcome back to the Smite Pro League Week 5 here. This is the final match of Split 1. Gandhi joined by DM. We have AFK Gaming taking on Cloud9. The winner of this will go to LAN. So to put it in perspective, they have to win 2 games, and they will go to LAN. Here is the North American standings right now, as it stands. It's a little bit messed up here. Apparently, production's already trying to predict that Cloud9's going to make it or whatever. Yeah, your mic's 100% off. Battery check.
Hello.
Ah, I figured you like spilled an Izzy on it, or whatever you drink. I don't know what you do. Anyways, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Cloud9 Gaming here, folks. Cloud9, this is the world champions, formerly known. Oh, did you really just pull that?
Yeah, I did. Isn't that fantastic?
Who do you think you are?
How do I do that, right?
You're already wearing a blazer and a t-shirt. Like,
it's casual day. Speaking of casuals, here's Cloud9.
What?
Nah, they're world champions. It's like
yeah, casuals. Yeah, these guys are the Smite World Champions here. They brought home $1.6 million a couple months ago in January. Really, the players who you need to watch in this set are going to be Annenster and MLC Stealth.
Yeah,
Barracuda and Jeff Hindler are going to hold it down just fine. And when you take a look at their matchup here as we bring up AFK Gaming, Barracuda and Jeff Hindler have a pretty even matchup with Allied and Incom, but it's really going to come down to this battle, which is going to be Weaken and Annenster head-to-head, and then Kiki versus MLC Stealth. Yeah. This is going to be the determining factor.
For me, Cyclone Spin has to out-rotate 100% to keep his team in this.
Oh, you're going with the solo approach. Shocker.
For me, I am just, it's not even a prediction. It's pretty much a guarantee that Kiki is not going to have the same effect on the match that Stealth will. I mean, that's just a guarantee. Weaken and Andy, it's going to be a toss-up. If Weaken doesn't get an early lead, it's Andy's, plain and simple. Yep. Even or ahead, it belongs to Andy. From behind, Weaken cannot play.
Yep. So the big thing here, if you look at the history of Smite, and I really recently just got caught up with this, AFK, these guys have never beaten Cloud9.
It's always like this close.
It's close. They always play them tight, but they've never beaten them. Nope. So it's going to be, we'll see if history can kind of rewrite itself here, if AFK can come out on top. But really, DM, going into it, I just want, what is the matchup here? If you look at it as a head-to-head, is it 6-4 in favor of someone? Is it 7-3? Give me the rundown.
I would say that Cloud9 has a slight edge, 6-4. If you're a betting man, you want to bet on Cloud9 here. They do have the advantage. Like I said, though, it's going to come down to Cyclone and Omega. Omega is not known as a player who rotates. He relies very heavily on teleport, whereas Cyclone immediately pushes and is out of the lane. He is the fastest solo laner, period, in Smite. Maybe not the most effective, but is definitely the fastest. And if
he's definitely up there, though.
If Cyclone can keep a presence in mid and lock down Stealth, giving Kiki enough room to get to endgame, that's going to be the win condition for AFK. That or really Weaken needs to camp the duo. Shut down Barracuda and let Allied get big. Statistically, Allied has been one of the most successful hunters in this spring split. If he can keep that rocking, they're going to be strong.
So, Hunbats and Serket taken out. Shots at Annenster. Bans shockingly coming out here from Cloud9. They don't want to deal with the Aphrodite. And Sylvanas, really no one likes dealing with Sylvanas because he pretty much wins the laning phase guaranteed when he goes into the duo lane. And his rotations and plus his ultimate is very hard to deal with. So first pick here coming out of AFK, this is going to be Gab. That's going directly to Incon.
That's right. And very surprising that Athena doesn't get picked up, or even Bacchus. They opt for Geb. This, to me, says, we're going late game, boys.
You know what else it could say? Is they might be trying to bait Cloud9 into taking Athena into the solo lane. Cyclone might have an answer for it. Because when he went last against Divios, it was really hard for him. They might have theory crafted it around it, or at least practice against it. But that's going to be Annenster picking up Thor, and now Poseidon will be going to MLC Stealth. Very important to note, Thor Gars is a thing, but at the World Championship, Thor actually performed better on Annenster than it did Gars.
Annen's Thor.
Yeah, it just sounds bad.
Right. Yeah, it's just
Thordinster?
Nah.
Yeah, it sucks.
So Ice is going to be picked up here for Kiki. A rather curious choice that he would opt for a female mage.
Yeah, he's always been known for very manly men in the solo lane.
Oh
no!
Hey, Thanatos for Weaken, a character again who I think is unbelievably powerful in Season 2, who is not getting a lot of screen time. Weaken's going to try to take the win.
But there's a flip side to that card. And Thanatos always performs really bad in the Pro League.
That's true. Not a great win
last season, he had about
12?
8 to 12%
Oh,
yet.
was it lower than 10? Oh, it might have been.
Dude, he only won 2 games, I think.
And he was like first pick, first ban. And I'm like, guys, please. In this season, though, with Pen Boots being gone and the fact that Aegis doesn't break CC anymore, Thanatos has so many more options for early damage.
He does.
Considering the fact that there's no way to get away from his ult, Hovering Death. But Bastet going to be taken away
Yeah,
here?
no shocker here.
No, shocker. That's Thanatos.
No. Cyclone, man.
No.
Cyclone loves that stuff. Come on now.
Sobek.
But here's the big thing. So Sobek gets taken out. They don't want to fight against that. But the real story here is that Bacchus has been picked up here from Cloud9. When you think of Jeff the Sex Hindley, you think of Bacchus.
I think of Canada.
Do you?
Yes.
It's weird.
All right. So, most likely a hunter option here. I don't imagine that they would go for their solo. Yeah, Neith going to be picked up, possibly looking for the 4 protect 1 strategy, but who are they protecting this time? I mean, Thor is kind of a protector. Poseidon, very strong, but doesn't really need a lot of protection. He kind of throws the Kraken and then, you know, kind of just falls to the wayside. So, it's possible we could see an assassin come out in the solo lane for Cloud9. Final options here are Xbalanque for AFK, and they're looking for their solo laner. I would assume this is Bakasura. Cyclone's the best Baka, and Baka's still available, and he doesn't really beat, but goes even, with Warriors. He doesn't really lose any matchups aside from Afro. I like this.
I really don't know who Omega's going to pick in. So normally Omega kind of reverts back to his comfort picks, which goes into Hercules or Osiris or Tyr.
Chuck. Warriors.
Baka has no problem with these at all, which is gonna be hard, and now he's actually gonna go into the assassin that is Arachne. So
this is, to me, maybe not. I don't want to say he has a small god pool, because Omega's god pool is extraordinary, but this is definitely outside of his comfort zone. Aside from Bakasura, we don't see him playing a lot of assassins. He loves to be frontline. He loves to be tanky. So this is gonna take a playstyle difference here from Omega, at least from what we've seen.
Not just Omega. This is the entire team that now has to have a playstyle change. So normally Jeff Hindley can rely on Omega throughout the entire duration of the game to be in the front line with him, but that is not going to be the case. Now, so as we hop into the matchup here, you guys can see the teams. They're already in. It's AFK versus Cloud9. Make sure you guys are getting social with us on Twitter. Tweet this out. Tell all of your friends you don't want to miss this match. It's the most important match in SPL history, in my personal opinion. Early on here, you would be foolish to say that AFK isn't going to invade. It's
the dream comp.
Yeah, they have the dream comp.
Wait. Did Bologna get banned?
No.
So Bologna just made it through picks and bans?
Yeah.
Holy. Okay.
Omega didn't like her.
I guess so.
Which is really weird because Bologna has a good matchup for Spaka.
Bologna has a good matchup versus everybody. Like, literally
All right,
everyone.
let's take it down a couple pegs here.
I mean, take Bologna down a couple pegs.
No. Take you down a couple pegs.
Take.
I'll take you to Baskin and Robbins.
No, ew. Their ice cream is really not very
How
good.
about Cracker Barrel?
Can you stop? Can we focus on the game instead of just horrible food?
Okay, now you're just directly insulting me. Starting off the game here, guys. The usual meta, we see deep wards here from both teams. The invade is not happening.
Yeah,
now,
very, very strange to see the invade not happen. Yeah. Not only do Weekend and Cyclone have a literally guaranteed steal, but they have some of the best level 1 fighting in the game with Weekend's Death Scythe. The issue is that Bakasura, not super strong at level 1.
Yeah.
Not, at least not compared to someone like Arachne, who if you get caught by the babies, you are going to hold that.
Yep. So now, the big story here with Thanatos is that he is amazing early game. He's okay in the mid game, and he just falls off late game.
Yeah, pretty hard.
That's exactly what happens. This game has to end in 20 minutes for AFK, and we'll see. The site's going to barely miss there. They're going to have to take out the babies. Now, DM, looking at this, Arachne versus Bakasura, 2 assassins going against each other. Who comes out on top?
You know, this is a pretty even matchup. Bakasura will be much more useful in the mid and late games. But what it comes down to is in lane, neither is going to have a major advantage. Both very, very hard to kill, at least through each other. Weekend sticking around here, it seems. It's possible we'll see a back harpy steal coming out from Andy, and Stealth is, you're going to see them walk right into the jungle, go right down to the bottom left camps. With that, it looks like Weekend's going to go towards the top side camps. No? Going to go to mid?
What is Weekend going to do? He should be going directly to the Beck Harpies in order to take that, but I guess he's just going to leech. And then keep in mind, guys, the big point of contention here is going to be in a minute 30 when these mid Harpies come up. Oh, Scythe just off the mark there.
They're not going to go any steals at all. They're just kind of letting that rock.
Yeah.
So they're just going to go to the back camps. That's a win for Cloud9 there. They take an early lead.
So switching on into the duo lane here. Allied paired with Incontinentia. My brother.
We have not harped on this too much. You know, let's talk a little bit about it. Xbalanque versus Neith is a pretty awkward matchup for Xbalanque in the early game. Neith probably having the best, if not second or third best clear in the game for Hunters, comparatively to Xbalanque, who has, like, bar none the worst.
Yeah. So, really, Allied, he needs to play for the late game, but the one thing that's interesting about Allied is that he's not a traditional hunter. He seems to be more of a team fight hunter instead of a one-on-one box hunter. Even though he does have that ability, if there's one thing I've learned from his streams is he buys Sprint 3 as fast as he can so he can gas pedal everyone.
Yeah. You know, Allied, I think all of Allied's big, like, misnomers and, you know, fail plays on the internet are almost always a 1v1 comparatively to where all of his big plays are coming out on him, like relying on his team, getting the big shots and setting other things up. Double tap coming out, Kiki taking some damage, not a lot. A lot of damage coming the other way, however, but with Weekend not being level 5, he doesn't have an option to go for the kill. That one back camp was enough to keep them locked down.
Yep. So 5 seconds here. Jeff Hinla's already rotating. Incon's going to be here as well. Geb is fantastic at taking the Harpies. Look at this. The knock up and then right into the hand of the gods.
Into the air, into the air. We're going to see this, and he's going to read it as well. And it looks like both the junglers take to the air and will fall back down safely. Right camps, although, are going to AFK with, again, you know, we're talking about Cyclone's rotations. That's going to be a small win for them so that we're back to an even game.
I wonder how many creeps he's going to lose on this wave here. So keep in mind if they jump in there.
He lost 3 in gold, 4 in gold, 2 in experience.
Yep.
5 in gold. Wow, okay.
Yeah, I didn't expect that tower to hit that one.
But he gained it. Oh, trouble in mid lane. Kraken goes off. Weekend in a lot of trouble. Kiki, though, answering back stealth, taking a lot. We're looking at Weekend here.
Scythe,
how long on
boys.
the death side? No, 7 seconds. And there comes the Neith ult. It's going to wash out. Still no first blood, but not for a lack of trying.
Yep, 3 minutes and 45 seconds on this one. Incon still in lane. He doesn't have any point in rotating right now. The team fight in the middle. All things told, Weekend was in a lot of trouble there, but there wasn't enough follow-up in order to take him out. So still staying alive. In fact, you would even argue that AFK probably had the advantage there.
Yeah, it looked like it. We are just Weekend and Kiki doing a great job. Kiki looking way stronger than he did even last week. His positioning has gotten better. His movement has gotten better. He really knows that his team believes in him, and I really think the trip to the AFK lounge did this team a lot of good in terms of chemistry.
Yeah, it's always good. Whenever you all get together and you start gelling with personalities and it's not online and you're forced to interact with people in real life.
You can't just log off a team speak and be like, sorry guys, dip.
Yeah, yeah, and then you get on and you tell your friends, dude, if he keeps feeding, man, I'm leaving this team. Because you go back to the hotel room and you're still with your friends.
Is that Rip Carbon?
Oh, yeah. God, yeah, man. I was like, man, Shockwave's just so stupid.
Whoa. That's my man. I was just kidding.
But, yeah, so Kiki, I mean, coming into this one, if you guys are brand new to this, Kiki was a solo laner who then got switched into the mid lane for Jerby. And his god pool consisted of only females, and he had a really tough time
like
at the beginning.
Very few warriors, mainly loved assassins. You know, it really didn't fit, but they wanted to keep him on the team. They liked him. They knew his ability. I mean, Kiki has been one of the, I think, biggest names in Smite for as long as I can remember. It's just that he changes his name so often that you might not know him as Kiki. You might know him as Gaga's little monster. Who knows?
I'll tell you what, it'll be very impressive. Really looking forward if Cloud9 is able to take the series after winning the World Championship. The fact that they can still muster drive after taking home $1.6 million.
Oh, wait. Mid lane. This could be first. No, okay. No Kraken. All right.
Oh, look at Incon. Incon's rolling in. In comes Weekend as
trouble.
well.
That
is going to be beautiful. There's going to be one. Kraken will hit. Weekend will be taken out. Incon Geb shields himself. And now first blood goes to AFK. Cloud9 answers immediately.
For me, that's a huge win for AFK. Not only did they trade out of Thanatos for a Poseidon, which is unbelievably worth it, especially when it's stealth, shutting down that Warlock Sash rush, which we know is coming, right? But it's also making sure they got first blood. That's a major goal advantage there, so big win for AFK.
Into the solo lane we go here. This is going to be very interesting, this matchup. If you aren't familiar with how these two go, Cyclone Spin, he's very confident. Wow. Omega, his confidence is over 9,000. Cyclone, these guys are going to be boxing a lot, and you can kind of tell that Omega is always going to be kind of swinging his aura around as much as possible.
that huge hit on the Venomous Bite, and plus the baby's going to put Cyclone Spin about 250 health. He's going to back. A lot of damage coming to the tower here, but luckily, Weekend is in the neighborhood. Only the back left camps are available, so really nothing lost. It's just a matter of the fact that Cyclone Spin has to back here where Omega doesn't, although Omega doesn't have a huge advantage right now, considering Cyclone Spin did get a couple sets of mid camps. It's pretty much even.
Weekend just barely off the mark there with another death sight as we go ahead and look at Allied versus Barracuda. Allied has been fighting Barracuda since the start of Smite, it seems like. He would want nothing more than to win this matchup.
You know, Barracuda kind of jumped kind of late into the scene in like what we call Season 0. He was on a team called Vicious and Delicious with some of his friends, eventually forming the roster, which you now know as Cloud9. But the thing is that Barra and Allied were both kind of at the same skill level throughout their entire careers up until a point where, out of nowhere, Barra just became the best player in the world.
Yeah.
But Allied's caught up.
And instead trying to aggress here. Spirit Ball comes out. It's on Jeff Hinla. Xbalanque ultimate hits as well. Intoxicate comes down. Weaken. He does have the Geb shield though. In comes Neith ultimate. And he's forced to take to the skies. He's getting out of here. he goes, well, at least I can fly. Always a positivity here. So looking at the builds here, Ikavo actually being rushed by Cyclone Spin across the way. Arachne actually going into boots. And then in the mid lane, we actually have some deviation as well. Both going Shoes of the Magi. One starting off with the Lost Artifact. The other trying to get Bancrofts online.
I think this actually might be Pyth. Looking for like just a bit more damage for the team. The issue is that they don't have a lot of extra damage. I mean, you're right. It could be Bancrofts.
It's got to be Bancrofts.
They could be looking for the real, and I mean real big swing on the Circle of Protection gains. But I mean, it's hard to say. Cooldown reduction might be worth it.
Speaking of cooldown reduction, CDR Boots coming here out of Encon.
Yep.
I can't think of one of his YouTube videos where he actually recommended that. It's always been Witchblade and Wingblade.
He's been baiting us the whole time.
Yeah, I think he's been throwing out faulty videos. All right, Encon, I see you, bro. Coming for that net.
Cyclone Spin rotates back in. A small advantage in push here over Omega. Omega's still leading, though, in terms of experience. He's going to hit 11 here, probably get about a third of the way through.
This is starting to get scary. So Weekend is 0-1-1, and he's at the 9-minute mark here. He really needs to make a huge impact in these next 7 minutes. We need to see a Gold Fury be taken. We need to see a fight be forced just by Weekend alone.
They should have probably rushed down that blue buff, but they don't. Omega's going to get that one for free. A lot of grouping here on the left side. Gold Fury still up for contention, and the mid camps are spawning very soon, in fact. Very quick. Kiki throwing off that silence, but not quick enough. Spirit Ball, almost max range, going to hit Jeff there, but a 4-man grouping is going to get the camps for free on the left. Right side, it looks like this one's going to go to Weekend. Gold Fury
No.
Oh, wow, no, they're rotating out. In fact, Weekend's in a lot of trouble here. Oh, never mind. Death Scythe. Oof.
Yeah, hits the Scythe, forces Omega out completely. Incun now staring at it. They really can't go for this. They might look for a fight. Jeff Hindler's going to try to initiate. The comms have been called, and there's no follow-up there. Xbalanque ultimate just to be on the safe side here. And that is going to stop that engagement from ever happening. Incun's just going to go ahead and roll out as we will now watch Cyclone.
There's nothing.
Oh, look at this. The backside, though. He comes in and inserts on Weekend. Weekend forced up. Circle of Protection's going to be down, though. Kiki's still alive. Stone Shield's going to happen as well. He isn't able to get a bunch of damage. Annenzer, he's going to commit down. Will he have the damage to take out Incon? The Spirit Ball is going to keep him alive.
Wow.
Down he goes. Whirlpool OP.
That was absolutely beautiful. The Whirlpool, the auto attack gets the final hit there from MLC Stealth, but the true shine was Annenzer's absolutely flawless double tap with that first Gold Fury of the game. No. Yeah, you know what? I love the play from Weekend there. He tried to silence. The issue is that the Death Scythe didn't hit the target he wanted it to. Cloud9 takes the first Gold Fury of the game. They're up 1-2 right now, and with that, a 2,100 gold lead.
Starting to get that little bit of a lead here. Cloud9, they're so lethal. If you give them an inch, they take 17 miles.
And that's what should happen. I mean, when you go up against the world champions, you can't leave anything out. And for me, the one thing that's missing right now is the fact that Weekend decided into Death Toll instead of Bumbus Mask. He doesn't need the extra damage. The sustain is not helping him. What it comes down to is he's not getting enough bang out of that jungle, and he's splitting everything.
Yeah. It is a pretty big difference.
Look, when we saw Annenzer play Thanatos this season, it was with Bumbus Mask.
Yeah. Fair. Bumba's Mask is just one. It just seems so good. The only other argument I could see for the Thanatos is throw in a heavy hammer. Go in there. Start pounding your chest.
You don't got to make that argument.
Show off your Donkey Kong, bro.
You walk up to that speed buff and go, if you do this speed buff, I'm going to kill you.
Speaking of killing, Weekend now looking. Cyclone versus Omega. The babies are going to be there as well. He's got the silence. Nope. He's up in the web. Oh, he's going for this. Neith ultimate as well. He's not going to have a Xbalanque ultimate. This should be a kill for Weekend. Weekend now is going to go up looking for the guaranteed execution. He's locking that one down.
Oh, jeez, just barely dodges, and I don't even know if he meant to do that. He was just running
accidental.
away. That looked pretty accidental. I didn't even see that coming. I was watching the minimap.
Yeah, that's the old accidental luck here. Weekend now so
this
forced.
is scary.
He's tasked to hold this tower. Luckily for, oh god, he comes in. Jeff Inlet, the belch is going to be there. Wow, look at Anderson's health. It's just going to get dropped. Incon Cataclysm.
Where's Kiki,
trying to
though?
just give him, oh, Kiki's coming. It's a very late rotation.
Too late.
Yeah. He can't do anything
Kraken's
about
down,
this.
though. Silence is going to miss. Spirit Ball is going to miss. And one hit of the Wing Gust will miss as well. MLC Stealth might have gone down there, but Kiki, a little bit of a choke there. Doesn't find any of the shots that he needed with that Cloud9. Small gain there as they pick up the jungler once again.
You know, one of the best things about Xbalanque, as you can tell, is just that you get that little bit of extra gold from the assist from just hitting your ultimate, which puts him a little bit ahead of Barracuda in this matchup, which that's going to really help Allied out throughout this entire game.
With that, left camps go down immediately. Barracuda helping with that one's going to have a small advantage now over Allied as a result, hitting into level 14 there. Allied over an entire level behind right now because of the assists.
Yeah, fair.
Oh no, Allied has 2 assists as well.
Yeah,
I guess he's just getting pushed out in lane. We really haven't seen too much.
Yeah,
Neither
we haven't been
hunters.
paying attention. Yeah, I just looked down and looked at the assist, and I was like, oh, this is going to give him an advantage just based on gold. I didn't even look at the level. That's very shocking that Neith is doing that well. I mean,
she's 1,000 gold ahead. I mean, realistically, she's an assist down, 1,000 gold ahead. She had 2 mid camps.
Oh, Gold Fury.
But she has the Gold Fury. That's only 400 gold.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, 300 gold. There's really not a reason. I mean, aside from the fact that he's getting out cleared, he's getting pushed under his tower, and this is, one of the reasons that you can't just pick Xbalanque all willy-nilly. He does lose matchups.
Yep. So Kiki and Incon here. Look at this. Here's the battle. Barracuda. For a second there, he could have pressed forward, but they're going to work together as a team. Tectonic Rift, double tap will hit. Oh my god, Weekend. He's left with less than 50% of his health, and he's going, wow. I did not want to find Annenster in my jungle.
Weekend's in some trouble here. I mean, he's picked a character that doesn't fare very well in the end game.
No.
And he has the strongest early game, or second strongest early game to Bologna. And with that, he's not far enough ahead, or really, he's actually behind, to really warrant the pick.
Look at this play from Cloud9. Cloud9 goes directly in, steals this purple buff. Blink Cataclysm comes up right on Annenster.
Try to steal.
Yeah.
Boyle in the mid lane, Stealth actually rushing down. Omega one hit there, but the Nightcrawler will get him into the air fast enough. Cyclone Spin still has Regurgitate, but it looks like he's not going to go for it. That's a big drop there. AFK losing another player. Incon
trying his best to stay alive here. Throw out isn't going to keep him.
Yeah, he drove directly into the Tidal Surge there. And even at level 2, that Tidal Surge is swinging pretty hard with that scaling. Right now hitting somewhere in the neighborhood of like 250 damage.
Yep. 4,000 gold and climbing here. Whirlpool's going to hit. Cyclone Spin's going to get stunned as well. There's not going to be much of a follow-up, though. Stealth doesn't have the Kraken online. He does have 29 stacks onto his Warlock Sash, so he's starting to get very lethal. Across the way here, Isis. Bancroft's done. She has some options with penetration that she can go with, either Voidstone or Spear of the Magus.
Bottom side, Weekend clearing up here. Waiting for Kiki. Again, a missed opportunity with no Bumba's Mask. Realistically, you build Death's Toll and then don't invade, right? You don't build Heavy Hammer. He's just playing Thanatos as if Thanatos was Thor, except he's not getting the big hits off. So why pick Thanatos?
I think it's the idea, man. I think it's the idea of the silence and the chain. I really don't know. I've never been a big fan of Thanatos. I've always seen the idea, but I've never seen it get executed properly ever.
Well, Andy did it great this season.
Oh, yeah, fair. Andy did well. But that's Annenster. Annenster can take Bacchus into the jungle and come out with a Soul Reaver and crush everyone.
At this level, I don't think that argument's fair anymore. I don't think we can say that shouldn't be as strong as Andy, because when you're playing for the world champion, you're playing for a spot at LAN, there shouldn't be those disparities. I mean, there are, but I don't think it's a fair argument to make anymore. Weekend has to perform better.
Yeah, fair. I'm mostly Stealth now, just going to shove this one up. Annenster there, same with Jeff Hinla. Meanwhile, Incon has to take a different route so he can avoid damage as he rotates in. Tectonic Rift hits, and Kiki will lose a quarter of his health. Man, those Mjolnir's attunements coming out of Annenster have been flawless.
And I love the push that Cloud9's going for. They push the wave, and then they go back to the mid camps because the route is longer for AFK. They can't force themselves into that choke point, otherwise they could be getting baited, and they know it. Second Gold Fury of the game, though, getting started. Allied and Incon recognize it this time, and they're not going to let it go down for free. Does get reset. A small amount of time wasted there if they don't... Oh, no, they're still going for it. Wow.
Oh, yeah, the rotation has been called
Weekend's
out.
got to go up now.
Weekend has to go up, as well as Arachne's going to come. They might even turn from this and try to just fight elsewhere. Annenster's going to force out the Belch, as Allied will be stunned out. Omega's going to be here. Kiki has to be very careful here. Incon taking a bunch. Look at that. Whirlpool. Wow. Xbalanque ultimate forced out as well. Allied now.
Round 3, fight.
Right. Gold Fury, it's lost about 2 bars here as Allied will fight. He's going to get knocked up. He's in a lot of trouble. That's going to be a crack, and he dodges out perfectly. Cyclone's been looking for it. Weekend in the sky. Weekend crashing down. He's on Jeff Hinla, though. That's
alive.
not the one. That's going to be a double kill for Cyclone Spin here, as we will now see the fight continue. Omega forced up into the web.
Going for Allied. Allied's in a lot of trouble here. Dodges. A few more necessary.
Oh!
Rising Jaguar out of there, but Omega takes down Weekend in the back line. Barracuda does find Allied, and Cyclone Spin's back is going to be wasted out once again. 3 for 2 somehow in favor of the world champions, and they will get a Gold Fury as well.
Both solo laners there picking up a double kill for the team.
Oh, wait.
Kiki now. The Spirit Ball's going to hit.
Oh! Doesn't quite get it. Annenster under 10 HP as Barracuda attempts to keep him out. Cyclone Spins in there. Beautiful unravel. No panic potential there. Double tap.
Get out. Run away. Dude, crazy.
Beautiful play from both sides. Gold Fury is the real champion there, somehow living through all of that. That was 4 attempts at the Gold Fury.
Gold Fury still stands. Only one has been taken. 18 minutes and 40 seconds on the play. Shifter's Shield will be coming out next for Weekend after the Jotuns. Not opting into crit or anything else. He wants the extra protections as well. Executioner getting finished for Bakasura across the way. This is going to be an Odysseus bow coming out for Arachne next. Omega's going to be very hard to deal with. There's going to have to be a lot of heal there, DM.
Yeah, he's going full attack speed, which is interesting considering the fact that his 2, Cocoon, is going to increase his attack speed. He's going to wind up overcapping by a lot. Right now, I mean, even at level 18, he'll be overcapping by like somewhere in the neighborhood of 0.3, which is the equivalent of like better than an Executioner, right?
Gotcha, okay.
But only for 3 hits. So he's going to get the big swings off, and then he's going to get the stun, hit the Venomous Bite, and then try to reset and wait for Cocoon again. This might actually give him a little bit more sustainability.
Hold that
Next
thought.
item, Soul Eater. Has to be.
Weekend now getting forced out. Annenster's just pressing forward. Incon now is going to just turn around and knock him up. Say, what's up, bro? Leave my jungler alone. As he will now clear out that. Weekend now still looking. They haven't had control of these mid camps, as Barra is going to be right on the Gold Fury as well.
No one smells this. No one thinks, man, it's sure fishy that I don't see Neith anywhere on the map. With that second Gold Fury of the game, absolutely free. 1,500 gold there for Cloud9.
Allied has to be careful now. Jeff Hinla still has Intoxicate. Oh, thank God for Geb Shield. And, you know, maybe that's why they picked the Geb first. Well, Kraken comes out as well. Incon forced all the way out. Xbalanque ultimate trying to save him. He's in the rollout. Incon trying to run for his very own life. He might be able to get away. Weekend's coming crashing in. Weekend hit the silence. Weekend hit the silence, but oh, he's going to get taken out by Annenster.
He doesn't have the damage. If he wasn't a level behind, if he had a little bit extra damage, there was a possibility of him getting that kill, but Stealth's going to stay alive there. Weekend's going to throw himself out, and it's just Cyclone by himself at this point trying to keep the dream alive. He's 3-1. Rest of the team rest of the team flat out is just negative except for Kiki, who's even. I mean, it's really up to Bakasura. The issue is that Baka can't carry.
Oh, wow. Baka actually took out Omega in that entire engagement?
Yeah, he was real deep. He was like, you can actually see on the minimap where the web is that he placed.
Oh, my God.
He was way back there.
He went MC Ham.
Yes, you see
ham and cheese.
Adonis threw just a little bit of a shot there of the web in the background. Omega going to be respawning here in just a second, but not in time to save this tower. Cyclone should have another attempt here at the next wave, but he's actually going to make a rotation. He's calling for it. Regurgitate is coming up in 20 seconds, so they're not going to have a lot of kill potential here. But he checks the safe route, and he'll go back in, take down to clear the archers. He pops the web as well, activates the charged bow, and he'll be able to clean that one up.
So I wasn't able to sleep last night, and I hopped into Guards' stream, and I asked him what he thinks of the entire thing. Well, hold that. Incon, Cataclysm comes down as well. MLC Stealth looking for it. They're just going to stay on the turret. Will there be an initiation? There is not going to be one. Cyclone actually rotates all the way through. Spirit Ball is going to be off the mark as Annenster gets out. But the long story short is Gars said that Annenster and Stealth will be the ones to secure the win for Cloud9 if they do win.
To be fair, that wasn't just Gars, though. That was like, you know, the most stream chats and the Reddit and probably Smite Game chat right now, right? It's just, you know, Stealth and Andy have always been like, or at least, you know, towards the end of Season 1. You know, Bear is big, Jeff's big, sure, but Andy and Stealth have really been the playmakers in the last couple months. But for me, you know, it's about, for AFK, it's Cyclone. I mean, 100%.
Well, they don't have the burst.
Wow. Gets away!
That's heartbreaking. And
16 HP. Got up with 16 HP.
Weakened still level 14 as well. Trying
Can't
to
catch
get
a break.
started here, yeah.
Cannot
Kiki,
catch a break.
Kiki will live. Spirit Balls have been on point. Omega comes in. He's looking for the stun here. Whirlpool's not going to stop him enough, as now Cyclone will rotate. Oh, God, Barracuda. This is
later,
guaranteed.
Allied.
Sorry, Allied.
Worst feeling in the world. It's one of the very few abilities in the game that if it gets activated onto you at low health and no one's around, you don't have an Aegis.
Kraken hits. Cataclysm hits as well. Stealth's in a lot of trouble.
No,
Weaken needs this one. And Weaken's going to look for it and misses the execute again. Weaken needs this, though. He's got the silence. Spirit Ball will be there. Locks that one up. And now here comes Annenster. He's going to get silence out of the Berserker Barrage, and now they will rotate down. Omega's here as well, though.
Oh, whoa, didn't go for it. I really thought he was going to press in. All the while, Barracuda looks like he's cleaning up the blue buff. Cyclone Spin's going to be forced to let that one happen. He's level 20 right now, which means... what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong, bud? He tried to back and he hit G. 90 seconds on the beads. Cyclone Spin with a big choke there. Can't fight until those are back up.
That's Heartbreak City.
Those little... I guess you could even call it a typo. My man did not mean to hit that letter.
No. So you always talk about errors, right? That's your new thing recently. That's the definition.
Oh, that's an error. Oh, yeah.
That's an error.
That's a big time.
That ain't no. That's no typo. That's a full-blown error.
Typos are errors, man.
Okay, easy. Relax. All right. With the logistics.
Oh, man. But 11-6 right now. We're going to see Cloud9 with a pretty huge advantage. We haven't checked them in a bit. Let's bring up the graphs. 5,100 gold. It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it at all. The experience is the big difference. Those 7,200. This is not... This is going to be really tough for AFK from here on out just because of this Thanatos, right? He doesn't have Shifter Shield down. He's level 16. He's a full level behind Thor, but when he finishes Shifter Shield, Thor can go into whatever he wants next, which will probably be a Magi's Blessing, it would be my assumption. So how in the world does AFK answer the call of Cloud9?
Honestly, it's going to come down to what Kiki can do, right? And it's not Kiki's initiation. It's 100% up to Cyclone and Incon. If they can get it started, if they can get a clean initiation, force out a few uses of beads, maybe an ultimate, you know, just in a defensive measure, it'll allow Kiki to control the fight. Remember, Wing Gust, huge space control, a lot of damage. At this stage, it's probably swinging for close to 1,000, right? You got Spirit Ball, max range going to be hitting 600-700. Before that, you're still looking at a decent 400 swing. Right? It's those big things that they need to be able to get into the end game. Notice, though, I haven't said Xbalanque at all.
I know.
At this stage in the game, Ally just can't swing hard enough to be relevant. I mean, Xbalanque is all about big bursts, and he doesn't have crit online. He has no real great form of CC like Barracuda has, unless he uses his ult, but no one's getting tagged by that.
Yeah. Ally trying to bait out this fight. The one thing that's important to note is that Jeff Hinla does have Shell. Is going to help them out a lot. That's the big difference right now between Europe's Bacchus and Jeff Hinla's Bacchus. It's the shell. You're not seeing
beads
beads.
Versus shell.
Yeah.
Jumping in here, Cyclone taking a little bit of damage. Silence coming off, not going to do a lot, but he will combo it immediately. Jeff Hinla taking about 40%. Weaken spending everything into the support here. This is probably going to be a misplay.
Yeah.
Kraken goes off. Kiki with a perfect Aegis, and again, Weaken falls before finding any.
And now Ananster is able to get one. Cyclone Spin just
Cyclone
ripping through the enemy team. They got one. Ananster forced to beads. This might be a triple. He just needs
Allied
to,
still
he's waiting on
alive.
the jump. He's waiting on it.
Oh my god.
Get out of
Allied
here.
is still
Look
alive.
at this,
Takedown over the wall. Cyclone's looking for it, but he knows he can't have it. With that, only Ananster remains.
How did he live?
Oh man, but that's going to be a Gold Fury. AFK's back in this, and it's just what we said. It's got to be up to someone to initiate, let Kiki get some damage off. Kiki got his whole kit off, and then Cyclone just ripped him apart.
The big difference right there is the exact weakness in Poseidon. If there is a weakness, it's the fact that a perfectly timed Aegis makes his big burst damage useless. And Kiki did it flawlessly.
Cyclone answering the damage back, taking a lot more than I think he's expected to. He's probably going to die here. Oh my god, Andy just barely dropping that one. A tick for attack there as both of them wind up getting out of each other's presences with under 100 health.
I told you about the ego that is both solo laners here, Cyclone Spin and Omega. They both respect themselves as the two best players in the world. Cyclone Spin will take those battles every single time.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny because you're right. They both have huge egos, and there's
no,
such a big part.
Confidence.
It's definitely confidence, but it's such a big part of their play style because where Cyclone Spin would dive a tower and get down to 1 HP and then laugh about it and giggle on his way back, Omega just would have stood at the tower line taunting, right, forcing them to come out and try to fight or back off and be seen as a little baby.
Yep. Weakened now. Luckily able to soak up all of this XP, which is going to really help him out. He's got a cloak level 1 starting up right now. Bakasura getting ready to go into a Magi's across the way there. Shifter's shield possibly being started here for Arachne. We got the tier 1 of the round shield.
I would love to see this be a Void Shield.
Yeah?
Absolutely adore it. Void Shield's going to reduce the protections, giving Thor more damage, giving Arachne more damage, but it also helps their carry. Neith, not the best carry in the world, but she's still a carry.
Mm-hmm.
She's just not the insane hyper carry. I'm still thinking about how Allied got out of that one.
I don't know how he did. We're going to have to watch the replay there on that because it makes no sense. When you said it, when I was casting, I was like, wait, really?
Allied he just got out of there, still alive. With that, Fire Giant still available here. Incon not in a great spot. It's using the Geb shield. Weaken really caught out here. Can anyone follow it up? Yes, Andy can, sending a lot of damage his way. I'm very surprised to see that Cyclone didn't just try to go for that.
That's
three grouped up right there with an oboe. I just would have let it rip. That would have been Beyblade City.
Yeah, Kiki actually not even rotating yet. He's just now getting there.
Incon.
Incon's going to take a bunch here, but this is Gab. He's not worried about it.
No.
Oh, that's a Cataclysm. He goes right onto stealth. Weaken with the priorities there. Circle of Protection will be up as well. Trying to heal everyone up. Ananster going straight for Weaken. That's one dead Thanatos. And now we will see Kiki. He's still there. Spirit Ball is going to hit. Allied's here. Gas Battle is initiated. They're going to be stunned out. Are they going to continue to push forward?
I mean, they have to. Cyclone has to answer back. He still has Regurgitate. Whirlpool going to be landed here. MLC Stealth trying to keep the distance, and it looks like he will. No Gem of Isolation for confident slows, but it's going to be a Barracuda on the left lane now, going for the tier 2, and Incon, despite his rotation, will not be fast enough. 1,500 gold, going to put Cloud9 right back in the lead.
Right now, you can tell both hunters are wishing that Apollo was in the rotation.
Right?
You know, that's now when you split push, you really have to commit. The graphs 5,900 in favor of Cloud9 on the experience side of things. Cyclone Spin, 5-1-2, doing everything he can. He's got Sprint 3. He's got beads. There's a lot of deviation in Bakasura builds, at least up until recently when we saw Azalea just eat through 3 people like it was nothing. And that's when we saw the Ikavol and the Oboe. Sometimes we see a Hasten Fatalis if you don't want Sprint, but I think Hasten Fatalis, you just don't buy it.
Oh man, 30 minutes deep. Both teams still showing some signs of life here, but Cloud9 with a pretty decent advantage. The experience difference not that big anymore. Jeff, 1 level ahead of Incon, Weaken 2 levels behind Andy, and that's pretty much it. Everyone else is level 20. So realistically, I would love to see Kiki and Incon back off here and just let Weaken get this solo experience because level 5 hovering death is a big deal. 36% instead of 40, that's a huge threshold.
Well, it's just really not good to be a level 18 Thanatos at
Weekend
30
is
minutes.
getting clobbered.
Look at Omega. Just goes straight in. Spirit Ball's going to hit. Wing Gusts aren't going to be able to secure the kill because of the infinite web. In comes Cyclone Spin. He's going to use the immunity frames of the jump. He's now looking. Jeff Hinla's really weak. Look at this. Regurgitate. Just destroyed one. He's still pushing forward. He eats a minion. He's on Barracuda. And now he will live. Allied finally joining the fight. Kiki trying to buy himself time, but no teammate can help him survive that one. Allied, he wasn't really even in the team fight, and he has no health.
So it's curious because every single person was saying the same thing. It's going to come down to Kiki and Stealth, right? It's going to come down to Weekend and Andy.
Yeah.
And while Weekend probably hasn't had the best game of his life compared to Andy, for me, this has 100% been Barra and Allied.
Yeah.
I mean, every single fight. I mean, Allied's had one good fight, but Barra has been a part of so much. Like right there, I mean, there was just nothing for Allied to do. He was pushed out before the fight even started. He actually almost wound up dying just to the Nightcrawler, which was used as a defensive measure after Omega escaped from Kiki. Allied has just not had a presence. The one time that we've seen him had a major presence was the fact that he barely kept himself alive with lifesteal and got a kill almost by accident. And I hate to say that, love Allied right now, but there's got to be something more. I mean, they got to get him to late game. They got to get, you know, this final item online and protect him. Weekend's getting caught too soon. Cyclone Spin's not getting in there fast enough. If they can play the 4 protect 1 strategy and allow them to get that regurgitate off as an attack measure to force beads, it'll be 100% on Allied, and he will be able to do it.
5,000 gold differential here. Allied winning the ward battle. He does have Incon right next to him. Gold Fury has been started up. They're going to jump right on this, trying to bait it out. If anyone comes, the call out will be made. And they are still on it. And now Incon's forced to roll out. Kiki's going to be here as well. Gold Fury is going to be reset. To regenerate some health over time. Weekend still level 18. Trying to soak up some experience. Incon's going to catch a double tap. He's also going to catch an Omega right behind him. Here's the follow-up though. Circle of Protection's down. Allied's able to get one. Crashing down his Thor, crashing down his Thanatos. They're on Andancer. Allied hit the gas pedal. He's going to keep chasing this. He needs the peel. Kraken's going to take him out as Kiki will actually keep him alive. Oh, it's still alive. That's a stone shield on him. Oh, my God.
Only one person remains. Kiki with the cheeky triple. Barracuda in some trouble here. Death Scythe gonna miss. Gonna be forced onto his heels. And just barely, Barracuda will escape death with that. This should be a fire giant for AFK. This should be a very clean and easy fire giant.
How in the world is Allied alive? I don't get it.
That's the game, right?
This is gotta be game. This is the turning point of the game.
All right, not a big deal. No, he's gonna mess it up again. Oh, if Barracuda rotates, he's not gonna. Barracuda has opted for the Gold Fury, it seems. Allied getting very low. Can't afford another mistake here, and he's gonna get through.
Well, he actually can't get the Gold Fury because Weekend ended up zoning him out.
Good job.
Weekend went over there and said, yo, what's up? I'm Thanatos. You want to do this? Which Neith really should have said yes.
I would have been like, yes, please. I would like to do this.
I would love to eat a scythe right now because I'll lifesteal it up. Thank you, sir. It was delicious.
But they do get the Fire Giant with that. Gold difference still in the favor of Cloud9. AFK also doesn't have the experience difference, but if you look on the board again, it's a 2-level difference. Incon 1 level behind Jeff. Weekend 1 level behind Andy. The final level of Anvil of Dawn, not a big deal. But Intoxicate having another level is pretty decent. It's an extra 75 damage per person, which is not bad. Cataclysm, though, when he gets that final level, going to be a little bit bigger of a deal as it's another 5% of somebody's health.
So here's what's really interesting. So Bancroft's and Spear of the Magus done for Kiki. He elected into Breastplate, and now he will be going into Lotus Crown after that. So priority-wise, when you see an Isis, you normally think, okay, I got to kill the Isis.
It could be the crit helm. The Celestial Legion helm.
You think that's a thing?
It's possible. We got a timeout here coming.
You think that's
from
a thing?
AFK. I mean, it's possible. I mean, if anyone's going to carry the game, right, it's going to be the Deathbringer Rage Neith.
Yeah. Okay.
Protecting from a crit could be a pretty big deal.
I see the idea behind it.
Hard to say.
Lotus
is guaranteed.
Crown.
Lotus Crown a little bit more likely, but
it's finished.
Remember yes, it is indeed. The Lotus Crown really is only going to affect one thing, and that's the ultimate. He's going to heal maybe himself, maybe 2 more people at most, right? You're never going to see a 5-man circle of protection. This isn't like an RPG where you can just line all your troops up. Like, you will get AoE down, and that's a Thor and a Poseidon. Like, you will die.
So, Weekend, he's had a little bit of a difficult time, but the one thing's for sure, he has guaranteed setup with the Xbalanque ultimate, able to use Hovering Death to its full advantage in that sense. He has... It's just an easy setup for him. So
Weekend is 20 now.
Oh, look at that skin. God. Shout outs to
my man Sephiroth.
I hate you.
He looks like Sephiroth. I love it.
I don't even know who that is.
What are you talking about, Gandhi?
Who is it?
Oh man, we're not even friends. Like that's just.
What is that? Is that a Smash character?
I think he's trolling me now. We're just gonna talk about Smite again.
Yeah. Inkut's gonna go ahead and tank this tower, guys. They have the Fire Giant. 36-minute game here. They're gonna push down. Cloud9's respecting it.
All right, so I'm watching Andy here. Andy's going to get jumped on. Cyclone doing a little bit of damage. Will deter Andy for just a second, but close to full CDR here is Andy just swinging away. Magi's Blessing attuned to 2 members, both Omega and Andy picking that up for Cloud9. Cyclone having one as well.
Allied hitting Jeff Hinla in the belly as best he can. Trying to zone him out. Spirit Ball is going to be a little bit off the target.
And Jeff should just really back up.
Well, Thor's on the right. So if anyone gets crazy, Insert's just going to ult up, and Weekend's got to force him out here, which is exactly that. They want eyes on Thor the entire time so they can account for everything. So now the push is coming up. They have the minions. Blink Cataclysm comes in. In comes Allied. The Spirit Ball is going to hit just Jeff Hinla. Allied's on Jeff, and now Weekend's able to take out one. Jeff Hinla forced out. Weekend's able to take out another. In comes Allied. This isn't done yet. 375 crits. This isn't looking good for the Cloud9 DM.
They still got Fire Giant for 30 seconds. That should spell at least this Phoenix here. They're going to walk right in. All ultimates are down for AFK, aside from Regurgitate, which is going to be the big one. He's going right for it. Stealth going to be forced to Kraken, but he will go down. Even if he dies here, this is going to be a decent trade. He's living for now, but
Get out of here.
For now. Oh, nope. Andy finds that one cleanly. AFK is looking to end this. No more nonsense. 18 to 18 at 38 minutes. AFK with the comeback. Going to force a big win here onto the World Champions. They're looking to close it out in 2.
Wow.
I can't believe they won that.
I can't either. Smite is not known for comebacks. That is not something that happens. The big change there was AFK somehow with a Thanatos who was not active early game was able to come out on top, which is really the story for me. But the big picture here is that Cyclone absolutely dominated that lane.
Oh, yeah. He won the lane. He helped win team fights. For me, I mean, this was always the the player to watch. I mean, he was great, but this is the interesting story. Kiki versus Stealth was the big thing they said. There's no way that Kiki could hold a candle to MLC, and my man comes in deep with the first blood, winds up with a beautiful 5-3-7, keeping his team in the lead. Yep. Circle of protections were perfect. Doesn't matter if it's a male or a female. If Kiki can play it, Kiki can play it.
I got to tell you, man, ISIS, I've never given it the full credit. We've never, to be fair, I don't think we've ever seen an ISIS get played at that level versus
that was the best ISIS I think we've ever seen in Smite.
Kiki was probably the MVP for me throughout that entire game.
He was brilliant.
He has to, going into it, him and Weekend have to be the ones who step up to the plate, and he did just that. He answered every single call of Cloud9, keeping his team in the game with huge spirit balls, and on top of that, amazing circle of protections.
For me,
this
though,
is going to be crazy.
Weekend should have been invading more. We're going to go into the jungle thing in just a second. Weekend should have been in the jungle the whole time. You know, using the Thanatos presence, they should have had a much bigger map control, but for one of the very few times, 59%.
35% mid-harpies.
And they won. It was one team fight that turned the whole thing. They got the Fire Giant, then they rushed into the Tier 2, and it was just all Cloud9 can handle. And realistically, Kiki, beautiful game. Yeah. That was probably the best game that we've seen him play in mid yet. And to go against world champion MLC Stealth in the final week fighting for LAN, I mean, even if they wind up losing this set, there's no more doubt. But player of the game has to be Cyclone Spin.
Yep. Going into game number 2 here, it's safe to say that Cloud9 will be banning Bakasura.
Yeah, there's no way. He is the best Bakasura player by a mile. There's no way you allow this guy to just run. Look at this. He just runs the train. Easy double. Every time me and you are watching Allied trying to stay alive and Cyclone Spin's like, I'll just go get 2 kills now. Thank you.
He has so much confidence.
This is the one you missed.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, of course I missed it. If you blink, you're going to watch Omega just have a 60-second respawn. He's everywhere around the map. His presence is just second to none in these team fights. These are the things that are crazy, is that Allied was able to live throughout most of these, and he had 0 health.
People always ask me, why I rate Poseidon so lowly. That's the game.
Don't you ever.
I mean, that's the game. Stealth played that as perfectly as he could have, and it was just aegis and circled and everything else. The Kraken did close to nothing. He had 2 good plays out of maybe 6, and that's Stealth. He is arguably the best mid laner in the world.
Don't talk about Poseidon that way.
Poseidon just didn't do enough work. If that was Stealth's famous Scylla or Zhang, I think things would have been a lot different.
Zhang would be very interesting to see get picked in here. So we're going to hop to a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll have game number 2. Stay tuned.